What is up, Flosstube? My name is Haley. I'm the Brigham House Stitcher. Welcome to my Flosstube channel, where I talk about cross stitch and a little bit of personal life, you know, if people want to hear it. Today is the 22nd. I should know that. I was at work all day. It's Friday the 22nd. It's about 10 o'clock at night, so I'm going to post this in the morning. I just saw my hair in the camera. Okay. But it took my nephew forever to go to sleep. So this is going to be an interesting one because I'm tired. It's been a long week. Anyways, it's Flosstube number 21. And from the last one to this one, like, the subscribers have jumped. I think before the last one, I was either at like 300, the low 300s, or maybe even 290 or something. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to it because I'm not the subscribe, like, share type person, right? Okay. We're over 400 now. And I was like, what is happening? And I think it's because of all the amazing comments that you guys left about dating advice. I want to thank you for it so much. And I'm going to start off with finishing up the story from last time, okay? About the UPS driver, okay? So I'm trying to think back 2 weeks. So, right, he was flirting, giving me compliments. Everybody was saying he was flirting. I'm like, okay, all right. And I asked my associate, the guy, to ask him if he wants my number, because if he doesn't, then I know he's not flirting. That's just the way he is. And then if he did want my number, then I know he's interested, like, instead of like me putting myself out there, because there have been so many times where I thought somebody was flirting and I was about to give them my number, and then like the next week they say, oh, my wife. I'm like, maybe my flirt meter is off, right? Okay. So anyways, I wanted my associate to ask him if he wants my number. He kept chickening out and chickening out. And I was about to give this man my number, right? Okay, I had the piece of paper with my number on it in my hands, okay? I was about to give it to him, and for some reason, I couldn't do it. It was right there in my hand, and he was right there, and we were talking, and it was a little flirtatious, and I was like, give it to him, give it to him. I was like, no, I can't. Anyways, the next day, a different associate, a girl, we were bantering back and forth, and then she goes to the guy, like, while I'm busy with a customer. She's like, hey, do you want her number? She's single. And he goes, oh, I'm single, but I'm dating somebody. So, you know, thank you, but no thank you. And I'm like, okay, if this would have happened like 2 weeks ago, that would have been awesome. I would have known. That's just the kind of guy he is. Like, he's just flirtatious. However, the thing that is sticking in my craw, as they say, is that you're not single. You're not single if you're turning down somebody's number, or like turning down other women because you're dating somebody. That's not single. That's commitment. You're committed to that person. Okay? You're not single. So anyways, that's the story there. And after, like, I found out he wasn't single, I was okay with it, because I was like, okay, are you really just upset that, like, he didn't want your number, or, you know? And then I thought about, okay, well, what if we went on a date and, like, we were sitting on a couch and he tried to put his arm around me, and I was just like, nope. I don't see him like that. I don't want that. Nope. So I'm all good. And then, like, second issue here is the AC in the house has been broken, and the maintenance room is right outside of my room. And so for the HVAC guy to work on it, everything was put into my room. So where I usually sit is a disaster. So new angle, my lovely bed. I made it just for you guys. And I lit a candle because the HVAC system has a smell to it, you know? You know when you get new things, they have a certain smell to them. So there's a candle going. All right. So what do we got tonight? We've got haul. We've got the whips and a new start. I did a new start. I know I'm not very smart with that. It's like I had a couple of weeks of like finishes, finish after finish after finish, and now it's start after start after start. But it's not the start you think. Okay, so let's do haul first because I got the cutest thing. And my hair's driving me crazy. I might put it up. But, so my sister, who I live with, she's trying to make her house more cozy. She's trying to declutter and make her house more cozy, but she doesn't like knickknacks. She doesn't like clutter. She doesn't like bookshelves with just decoration on it. Bookshelves are for books, you know, that sort of thing. And no throw pillows on the couch because that looks cluttered. So I went to Consignology, which is a local consignment shop, and I just looked around for some things that I thought she would like. And I found this. Okay? Do you remember a couple of Flosstube videos ago where I said I wanted a stitching box to sit by my stitchy spot in the living room? And I found, where is it? Oh, there it is. And I found this thing, which is kind of cute, and it says My Stitchin' on it, and it's got this in this drawer, right? And I could put my stuff in it, right? It was cute. This is not my style. This is my mother's style, okay? It's cute, but it's not me. So when I went to Consignology, I saw this. How cute is that? It's a mini sewing box. Look at that. And of course, the kids love to touch every little aspect of it. I have some marbles in there for my foot exercises because that's where I do it. But anyways, it was $35 and I don't regret spending that money on it at all. I don't regret it at all. It's so cute. Also, very close to the camera, sorry. Also, while I was at Consignology, I saw these. You see that without the glare? They're cross-stitch light switch cover kits. Now I was like, I'm not going to stitch this, but it has the cover and Ada in it. And hello, you can just stitch whatever you want and make your own cover. So they had 3. I bought all 3. I'm like, yeah, why the heck not? Cross stitch your light switch covers. Yes. And then a new. I'm ready for Halloween. I want it here. Like, I want fall here. I want all the things here. I want warm weather. I want sweaters. I want pumpkin spice. Not lattes, but like the smell in the air, you know? Oh, I want it so bad. And I kept seeing this on Instagram. And so I bought it. I need everything Halloween. How cute is that house? I want to stitch that so bad. I know I can never stitch all the things that I want to stitch before Halloween, but I had to get this book. Had to. And I think that's all of my haul. I think so, yeah. Speaking of Halloween, sorry, I am going to do something about my hair. I apologize. Speaking of Halloween, it's not a tradition, but I love Halloween. My sister hates it. And last year, they went out of town in September to go get some apples in Washington, where my mother lives. And while they were gone, I decorated the house for Halloween. And to make it kind of nice for her, like I did spooky, not scary, right? Okay, so she wouldn't get scared. Like, no corpses, no nothing. I did have a skeleton, but like those aren't scary. And I turned the house into a witch's cottage. I had little witches in the front yard and black cats, and we have an herb garden, so I hung herbs from her front porch, and mostly it was the outside that I wanted to decorate. And she has this big pane window in the front of the house, and I put electrical tape on there to make it look lattice, and she loved that. She kept it out for a year, but the tape started peeling off, and so I had to scrape all the tape residue off because it had been up there for a year. That was not fun. My fingers cramped like crazy. But I'm trying to think of what I'm going to do this year. And I've got some ideas, and I want to decorate like tomorrow. But she's not letting me. She's like, it's only August. It's still summer. I'm like, August, September, October, they're all the same. They're all the same. So anyways, I want to do all the Halloween things. Yeah, I want to do all the Halloween things. Okay, should we do whips, or should we do the new start? Let's do the new start. How about that? Okay, so I had this brilliant idea, just this fabulous, brilliant idea to do a cross stitch for my friend in Virginia. Now, not the one I did the full coverage for, but his mother, who is also my friend, and her birthday's in September, which I gotta get cracking on this. But what I wanted to do was kind of do like a cross stitch collage of different fonts of their last name, which starts with an S. And I picked from my vintage French, sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses, vintage French needlework book, a bunch of different S's. I picked a bunch of these S's and copied them, of course, and put them on one. I was gonna do like a bunch of S's in her favorite color, and I started with this one here, right? So pretty, so gorgeous. And I was like, well, what fabric do I have? A lot, but I didn't choose properly. I chose the mystery fabric. If you remember when I was doing ornaments, I did them on a mystery fabric. I don't want to show you the thing yet, but this mystery fabric that is not an even weave, okay? It is so far from being even that every time I stitch on this thing, I want to kick myself in the pants. Okay, so then, I decided that it was just going to be small so that I could finish it before her birthday. And so I chose this size and I put it in the hoop, and then I started to stitch 2 over 2, and I realized that the pattern that I chose, this S that I chose, was too big for this. So then I reversed and started to do 2 over 1, which I regret so much, but it's gorgeous. Okay, it's straight up gorgeous. So let me show. That blue, is that blue not gorgeous? I hope it focuses. I don't know if it's focusing, but can you see those tiny stitches? Let's see. Get my face out of the camera. They are so tiny, and I have to do it in very good lighting. And also, something about this fabric is that how do I explain it? Let me see if you can tell. Okay, this over here, this here is this here. Do you see the difference? How short and stubby this is compared to this? I don't know if the weaving this way is shorter than the weaving this way, but I mean, that's short. That looks like a corn on the cob. That's what that looks like instead of a flower. And if you can see here, I've messed up on the counting there. I tell you what, doing over 1 like, why am I doing this? That's not even halfway through. That's not even halfway through. Do I keep going? I mean, this is gorgeous. I love the way that this looks. I hate stitching it, but I love the way that it looks. But then also over one, there's so much room for error and so much not caring. Like, I made a mistake and I'm like, who cares? Keep going. So yeah, this count is off and this count is off, and I'm just like, who cares? Keep going. She's not gonna pick it apart. She's gonna be grateful that I did anything, but heaven's sakes, is it small? And I haven't just, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? But I'm gonna keep going because you know me, I'm crazy. All right, so that's that. I know that in the last video I said I was going to start on the sampler roll, but I made a rule for myself. So we'll come back to that. We'll circle back. Let's do some whips, shall we? Let's do some whips. Let's do Primitive Village. Now, because my nephew took so long to fall asleep, I'm not like 100% ready. Which some people would be like, well, why don't you get ready before you turn on the camera? It's like, because I don't have any other time. Friday night is my night, and that's all I have. Because we're going to the Tremont Fair tomorrow, and then we've got church on Sunday, and I have no... I just remembered I'm teaching a lesson in church on Sunday. Gonna have to work on that. Okay, this is Primitive Months of the Year Village by NARAxStitchPatterns on Etsy. I started it May 2024. It's a 16 count Zweigart Ada gridded. I'm stitching it with DMC and it's 2/1. This is what it's supposed to look like, and I've been working right here in June. I'm nearly done with June. I'm so close to being done with June that I can taste it. So here's what it looked like last time you saw it. So we were working on doing half of the grass in June. So that's what it looked like last time. And here's where we're at now. I took it to the cross stitch group. I finally made it to the cross stitch group, even though I was like, oh, why am I doing this? It was good when I went. And I got some stitching done. And yeah, once I get there, I'm comfortable and stuff, but like, it's the process of getting there that stresses me out. And you know. So here's where we're at now. So we're nearly done filling in the grass. And at first I was like, well, let's just leave it a checkerboard because I'm tired of stitching and it's just filling and I'm not, like, I just want it to be done. But as I've been filling it in, I'm like, oh my goodness, it looks so good. It looks so good being filled in. It looks so good. Oh, I just need to finish it. Okay, so what's left is clearly the grass and then the chimney, and there's some clouds that need to be done, and then June is finished. If I can finish it before September, I could start on August. But maybe I do want to do September and then I'd have a whole row. But I don't know. It looks so good. Seriously, it just takes effort. And sometimes you don't want to put effort into it. But then you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. Let's do witches. History Witches, which I thought I had taken a picture of it last time to show the progress, but apparently I didn't, but there was just a line and an S. That's what there was last time. So what I have decided to do with this, History Witches by the Little Stitcher. I forget when I started it, maybe about a month ago, because it wasn't the last video, it was before. It's a 32 count linen, there's no color, DMC 2/2. So it's 2 patterns. It's this one and 2. And I want to stitch them on one piece of fabric. So I did a little chart redo, and I made a copy, and then I laminated it so it could be on one so I could see it. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do History Witches, take out their secret familiars, do the witches, take out this section, do the next set of witches, and then put and their familiars and magical tools. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. I just needed it all together in one place, and I kept this here because I need this charted. So that's what I'm hoping. Sorry, that's what happens when you have lamination. There's a glare. So I'm hoping that this is what it kind of comes out to look like. So there's that, and let me show you where it's at. Oh, I was gonna leave it in the hoop, but maybe I should do my duty if I'm gonna have a Flosstube channel and do all the things that are necessary to be a good floss tuber. Okay. So there's where we're at. We've got witches stitched, and we've got basically the border of how I want it to. Well, it's not even full stitched, they're half stitched with a full cross at 10. So it's like it's gridded. You can see that. So we've got the border, and then a little separation between the two, and then the bottom section, and then whatever fits down here. Whatever fits. So I've kind of made a little grid pattern for myself, which I'm looking, and I thought I started in the middle. Well, maybe I did. Would history go to there? How much is... Yeah, okay. So we're gonna get like the bones together, and then hopefully start stitching on one of those pretty witches. Because I can't help a Halloween start. Can I show you when I want to start? Where is it? Basically all of them, but there's one that just... Come on now. There it is. Him. How creepy and cute is he? I'm not a cat person, but I'll stitch that. Okay, next, Halloween again. Trick or Treat by the Prairie Schooler. I work on this every morning. I get about a thread and a half done if I'm really focused on it and I get up early enough before I go to work. I don't know. I'm not as excited about this now that I have other Halloween stitches and that I have the Halloween book. So I'm not really excited about this as much as I used to be because it was the only Halloween pattern that I had. Here's where it was last time. There's my card. Trick or Treat by the Prairie Schooler started June 20th, 2025. It's on Lugana, 28 count in the color Murky. DMC called for, and I'm stitching it 2/2. I've left it in the hoop because that's where I've been stitching. I just stitch in the hoop area. Oop, dangling thread. I didn't finish one this morning. So there's where we're at now. We got the smoke in here, these 2 stars, and we started on the witch on her broom, and this is the moon. See, so we've kind of just been staying in this area because this is kind of basically almost done. I don't know. It's just wherever I feel like stitching in the morning, you know. So, not a ton of progress for 2 weeks. Where were we last time? So just the stars and the witch and the smoke and a little bit of the moon. So not a ton of progress, but I mean, it's more than some. More than some that I've done. Okay. Next Halloween stitch. Okay. Apothecary by the Witchy Stitcher. Pretty certain is the author of this. Clearly she and I have matching tastes, so that's what it's supposed to look like. I switched it to a purple background and this kind of grayish purple thread. This is where it was the last time you saw it. Not a whole lot has been done. But I have technically finished the border. All lines connect. The only thing about this border that is not complete are the frillies here. So, border is complete and it's so pretty. There is so little left to do on this. Legit. Just that spells, potions, and elixirs section there, and then a little bit of the frilly stuff, and then it's done, and then I can hang it on my wall. Now, I was thinking about making it my work stitch again, but I kept Governor's Palace as my work stitch because I'm excited about that one. I like the progress that I've made on it in the recent weeks, and so I just kept stitching on it at work. Plus, I kept forgetting the pattern at work, so how could I... I just dropped something, it's fine. How could I work on it if the pattern's at home? I mean at work. Okay. Next is Governor's Palace. Okay. Now, I'm having issues with this pattern. I love the way it looks. Okay. It's gorge. It has good memories for me. I love it. But, okay. That's too shiny for you. Alright. There we go. Alright. Governor's Palace by Ceil Humphreys. Started it November 28th, 2024. It was a kit, so the kit and floss was included. And this is what it's supposed to look like. Now, in the picture and in the camera, it looks like there is a variant in the colors. However, in person, it doesn't look that way. You see how this side of the building is darker than this side, right? And this side of the building is darker than this side. And then this dark color is the fence or the wall. And then it's different from, I'll bring it in a little bit closer. It is blurry, I know, I'm sorry. And how the blue in the roof has a variegation to it, right? Like it looks different, okay? As I'm stitching, it does not look different. Oh wait. Here's where it was last time you saw it. Okay, does this variegation, this variant between this side of the building and this side of the building look as pronounced as the does it? I don't think I can tell. I mean, yeah, I can kind of tell a little bit, but not as much in that photo. Okay, so here's where it was last time. Here's where I'm at now. Okay, we're filling in that building. It's looking good. But again, where is the variation? You're like, Haley, what are you talking about? Okay. Around the yellow of the windows is that darker color, which you can kind of see right up there. You can kind of notice it in the camera, but you can't really notice it here. And that bothers me a little bit. Bothers me a little bit. Now, second thing about this pattern that's driving me a little crazy is this back stitching here. Okay? That grid there, that 3x3 grid, like this back stitch here is perfectly fine. That's the gate. Okay, that's the gate. And but what is that grid? Okay, what is that grid? Because there's no grid in this pattern. Where's the gate back stitching? There's no, if I could just, there's back stitching in the windows, yeah. But where is it for the gate? And what is that 9x9 that's supposed to be there? What is that? And I'm working on it this week, and I'm staring at it and staring at it, and I'm like, what is that? Because I've been to the building. This is a souvenir from going to Colonial Williamsburg. This is the front of the building. Okay. Here's the gate, the little frilly thing that they got going on. Right? You see that grid? What is that grid? What is that giant grid on the face of the building? What is it? Let's zoom in for you. Is it the balcony? Because that's pretty big to be a balcony, don't you think? Don't you think? So I think I determined that I'm not doing that grid. Because one, I have no clue what it is. None whatsoever. Not only that, but I'm looking at it now and I'm like, yeah, okay, we've got these statues up there. Why are they blue? Do you see that? I don't know. Choices, okay? Choices. Also, the brick color. This is an orange brick. This is an orange brick. This is a pink brick. Okay? Okay? I mean, it still looks good, but it's It's aggravating me just a little bit. Just a little bit. But we made some really good progress on it, so. I'm thinking that if I take it to work again, which I brought the pattern home, so maybe I won't, but if I do take it to work again, I'm going to switch over to the left side and do some of the trees, because that's like the tedious work. So that's what I'm thinking with that. Maybe I'm just being, you know, like a spoiled brat with, it doesn't look like the pattern. It doesn't look like the thing in real life. Come on, girl, quit being so picky. Okay. Last one is Let Freedom Ring. So, okay. Now we're back to the sampler roll. I wanted to start it after my last Flosstube, right? Like, I wanted to start it while I was filming. And so I was like, but you are 3,000 stitches behind on Let Freedom Ring. Okay, girl? Okay? And I'm like, okay, if you get caught up, then you can start Jelly Roll. And I was like, not Jelly Roll. Sampler Roll. I think I'm going to call it Jelly Roll, though. If you get caught up, you can stitch on Sampler Roll. And I was like, okay, yeah, that'll motivate me to catch up. So I'm stitching on it and stitching on it and stitching on it. And then I take a break on it for a while, and I was like, you know, that's a lot of stitching I've been doing. What if, instead of catching up, I redo the numbers? Right? Instead of catching up, I just redo the numbers. So I redid the numbers. The old numbers were, if I was to be caught up by tomorrow, which is what my days were for it, if I'm to be caught up by tomorrow, I'm supposed to be at 15,572 stitches, whereas last video, I was at 10,941. Okay, so I'm just falling further and further behind. I'm never going to get caught up when I'm 5,000 stitches behind. It's not going to happen. So I reran the numbers. And I moved Let Freedom Ring to Sunday, so in 2 days, not tomorrow, but the next day, for Let Freedom Ring, after I redid the numbers, I'm supposed to be at 12,507 stitches. Okay, that's 3,000 less. Granted, now I have to stitch approximately 530 stitches a week on Let Freedom Ring to finish by January 4th of July 2026, if I could speak. Okay, so that's a lot of stitching, considering I only stitch on it for 1 day, but you know, we'll get there. So I reran the numbers so I couldn't use starting Sampler Roll as motivation, but I did gather the things. No, the next thing I did was, well, you can't start it unless you buy the floss for it. Now, what it calls for is Weeks Dye Works. Okay, so I go on 123 Stitch, and I pulled the 12 colors for this one skein of 12 colors, and it was over $30. And I was like, okay, $30 for something that small? No. So we did a little DMC conversion, and there were four colors that didn't convert to DMC. So I was like, okay, 4 colors. I can afford 4 colors. And then as I'm looking through the colors, I'm like, they're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. So I gathered up the floss that I have. And I got the Weeks Dye Works in the mail. I know you guys do fancy floss. You guys are so much fancier than I am. But look how pretty. Okay, especially this one. This is the one that did have a DMC conversion, but I bought it anyway because it was gorgeous. Gorgeous. Now, this one is Blue Spruce. Oh, that's so pretty. And then this one is Cinnabar. Also very pretty. Garrison Green. Oh, I'm a sucker for green. So pretty. Grasshopper. And Onyx. Oopsie. Okay. And then I have my DMC. Boring. Boring. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. But I mean, compare the two. Pretty, boring. Pretty, boring. I don't know if I can. Oh, you can use the floss on something else. It doesn't have to be $30 for just that one project. I know this. I know this. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. However, I can spend $35 on a sewing box. Okay, but I did pick out my fabric from what I had. And this is Golden Flax. It's a linen. It's a 28 count. So, well, I don't know how it folds. So I thought it would be very pretty on this. I don't have anything that color particularly. There we go. So I went with this. I think this will be good. So I don't know what I'm gonna do to reward myself or start this. Maybe I need to finish my friend's birthday stitch before because if I start this, I'm just gonna want to work on this and I'm not gonna finish her birthday present, and that's kind of rude. Okay, so Let Freedom Ring. We went on a little tangent there. Let Freedom Ring by Lila Studios. Started this January 4th, 2025. Where's my card? I don't know. DMC and Classic Colorworks, I think is what it calls for. I don't know. I'm using what they suggested. I'm stitching it 2/2, and it's on a 28 count Lugana vintage mocha. Okay. So, last time you saw it, we were at 10,941 stitches out of 35,726. We were at 30.62% done. This time, we are at 12,014 stitches, 33.63% done. So I killed it these past 2 weeks, okay? Killed it. Since I redid the numbers, I've been killing it. I did, what, 2,000 stitches? Just about? Almost? I don't know. Don't do the math and don't make me do the math. Okay, so there's where it was last time. And I have been working on eating my vegetables. Okay, I went back to the building and I did some work in there. Okay. So right under those blue windows is where I worked primarily, filling in the bricks. Note the white was done and the brown squares down below were done, but the windows were not done and the door was not done, and that gray stripe across was not done. This was not filled in, and I did this brown here. So Doesn't look like much, but it's a lot. And it felt like a lot. But I think this is my biggest hurdle, right? This building. I mean, it's the biggest part of this stitch. I'm sure I'm gonna feel like this is gonna kill me. And then once I do this, I'm gonna be like, why? Why 2 other buildings? I know they're smaller, but why? Why do I have to do 2 other buildings? But I did a lot of hard work, and I'm caught up with my new numbers. So okay, that is all my whips, all my fun things. Let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to say? No, that's kind of it. Let's see. Plans for the next 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm not quite sure which whip will be my work whip. I think I need to take Apothecary. I don't know. Maybe I need to take Apothecary back to work. Make it my work whip again. I think if I took it back to work, it will be done by the next video, because I would be buckling down on it. Maybe I'll do that for 1 week. I don't know. I'm enjoying Governor's Palace, so I'm going to keep trying to be faithful on that. Mark my words, okay? The June month of Primitive Village will be finished by next video. You mark my words, it will be done. Okay? It's going to be done. We're going to lock it down, and it's going to be done. So those are kind of my plans. I think that's my plans. Just try to finish Apothecary, so that one's kind of off my plate, and finish June, and just get some stitching done. Not like great exciting plans or anything like that. Yeah, I think that's all I had. Yep. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. I totally appreciate it. The channel would not grow without people commenting and liking and sharing, because I'm not going to be a promoter. That's not my personality. That's not my style. And I'm shocked when I check the numbers and it's bumped 10. And so this last jump was amazing. Really cool. I think it's really cool. So that's all. I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you all for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.